So this is Darci's Corner, maybe. I might riff a little bit and try a little bit of my stand-up material, but we'll see. I'm gonna change my bit and go, well, I used to tell a lot of dad jokes, but now they're mom jokes. That'll be a pretty lame, flat mom joke to tell. And then I'll probably talk about different experiences I had at 7-Eleven telling mom jokes. Like, one of my favorite things to do, people come in to buy cigarettes, and I'd say, I gotta warn you, these things are addictive. Now, I'm aware that's a very lame warning, and like, they know they're addictive, that's why they're there. Which is usually what they would say, like, I know it's addictive, just give me a damn cigarette. Or they'd start freaking out and go, that's what the government's making you say, isn't it? I'm like, that's right, sir. Or ma'am, whatever. I didn't really care who was buying the cigarettes. But my favorite mom joke that I would tell wasn't really a joke so much. It was more like you learn to set up certain situations. And so we had our condoms hidden behind the counter because they were a high theft item. And we lived in our 7-Eleven was in a really rough neighborhood. There was lots of hookers around. And they don't always pay for things. So we got our condoms behind the counter. And almost always it's some young kid in his 20s who are going, can I get a box of condoms? And then a very loud, clear voice, what was that, sir? You want a box of condoms? Can I get a price check and a box of condoms, please? A price check and a box of condoms? And the other lady I was working with, she goes, Darci, they're $2.95, the same place I always are. Just give them the damn condoms. And it was funny. What's that, sir? You want the teeny weenies? Oh, the Big Johns, right here. Yeah. Anyway, it was funny. So that's kind of a mom joke stand-up bit I might do. Then again, I might not. I'm not really all that funny. I didn't get up there the last Friday. I might have been able to, but the one before I didn't do a very good job, I thought. It's hard for me to stay focused on my stories. I get rambling and sidetracked so easy. And sometimes it starts off as a good joke, and then like I just lose the point. And that's okay if I'm at home or trying to impress the friends I don't have. But on the upside, though, because I did the comedy thing a couple times, and I went out to support a friend of mine who was recording a comedy album, and I'm watching him do it, and I'm like, this guy is considered successful. He has a Vegas special that he does, and people love it, and he's got a whole bunch of homegrown supporters, because everybody who was there pretty much at his deal was just other comedians he has promoted over the years. And they all came to support him. That's why I was there, was to support him and to cheer him on. And then I watched him like fizzle out on stage and freeze up a little bit a couple times. I'm like, So if I can be as bad as you, I'll be considered a success. Oh, I can do this. Okay, I can be at least that bad. Now, I don't mean to put that guy down at all, though, because like to get up in front of people and put yourself out there, and you know, it's embarrassing and it takes courage. And he's got a routine and it works, and sometimes he even gets paid for it. Not nearly as much as he'd like, though. You can't make a living off of it, but still, it's good to have something that you enjoy that brings out your creative side, which he does, which is great. So then, yesterday was the day of trans visibility, because March 31st is the day of International Trans Visibility. They codified it in the U.S., and it's, anyway, it's all over the place now. And I feel pretty invisible most of the time. But I was definitely visible last night. I went to a bar that I don't normally go to, and there was a bunch of really good singers there. I was not really one of them. Every once in a while, some of my songs were good, but yeah, I definitely needed some zing in my step. But anyway, there's a lot more lesbians in this town than I realized, because I'm sitting there behind the bar just watching these guys sing, and some of them were singing some pretty pretty cool songs. And the number of chicks in their 20s on the floor that were just pumping and grinding and pushing up against each other, and they were very friendly. I'm like, well, if you're not lesbians, you got me fooled. And it was encouraging, except that it was also discouraging because I'm watching this young 20-something-year-old twerk and flip and do her thing, and the other ones just are all playing off what she was doing, and it was great. But I'm like, I'll never be that. I wanted to be that when I was in my 20s. Of course, I wasn't trying to be a girl then, but I didn't have a partner who was willing to go dancing with me. My first wife didn't feel pretty, and my second wife couldn't dance with me because she just decided that she couldn't. You know, we all have our isms, and hers was that she could not get in the groove while I was bopping, because I wasn't bopping with the music yet, because it takes a bit for the music to get into my brain for me to kind of go. And admittedly, I'm a lousy dancer. I don't have much sense of rhythm. But whatever the reason was, neither of them were going to do that with me. And I didn't like going by myself. And so I just didn't do it. And so now I'm going and I'm watching these things happen, and I'm like feeling the groove, and I want to get up there, but I don't want to look like a 40-year-old man in a dress trying to be with the cool kids. Not that they're that cool, but they were sexy. So I don't want to be the old person chasing the young people. That's not what I want to be. So I didn't do that. But I did enjoy watching them. And there were some pretty fantastic singers there, actually. I do appreciate when people bring their A game to karaoke. Sometimes I'll bring my A game. Sometimes I'll just try something to see if it works or not. But that night I did my best to bring my A game. And I think I did okay. But I was still alone the whole time. And there was a group of 20-something-year-old dudes sitting next to me. And then I smelled pot. I look over and I see he's got a vape. And I'm like, oh, I wonder where that was coming from. But then he wouldn't talk to me. He would look at me. He would kind of smile, and he wouldn't say a damn word. I think he was afraid that the gay would rub off on him or something. Or that if people saw him talking to me, they might think he was gay. It's like, we're just talking about vapes, dude. We're not exchanging phone numbers or nothing. I'm not trying to take you home. But a few people were nice to me, and a few people gave me some compliments. And so that was good, even though it was still lonely. I went there alone. I sat there alone. I left alone. Money-wise, it was great because it only cost me $2 for a pop. You know? I often get, I try not to dwell on the anger, because it feels like I've let so much of my life slip by, and I didn't know what this was. I didn't know what I could have if I wanted it. I spent all this time chasing money through various professions. And I should have spent this whole time chasing me. I always thought of my femininity as my other side that I had to hide from the world. And it wasn't. My masculinity was my other side that I was desperately trying to grab and put in front of me so that it would take the hits and I would be safe. And it kind of worked. It took the hits, but it didn't really keep me safe. It just made me miserable. People tell me just get over it. We throw away 40 years of your life, you just get over it. You know? And I don't want to dwell on it, but I do get angry when I see what I want and I can't have it because I started so late. Doesn't mean I can't have something, but mostly what I get is, don't talk to me, you're a pervert, and what if your gayness rubs off on me? Yeah, dysphoria comes from all different angles, and it really sucks. But I did enjoy watching those girls enjoy each other on the dance floor. I was sitting in the right spot for that. Anyway, Darci's Corner. Peace.